Okay, we are just about at the end of the Pulaski Street renovation. Typical Highland Park neighborhood. There is a lot of renovation and redevelopment going on over here. The sheriff next door has put up vinyl siding, and or maybe a deputy, not a sheriff. This house has been renovated, and then there are opportunities down at this end of the block. And this house is about halfway there. He's having a little bit of trouble with tenants. But the renovation's pretty much done at this point. There are little details like lights that don't work, but the electrician can fix that up. When I bought the house, it was owned by a dentist in Mechanicsville who was renting it out to a guy who owned a construction crew who was using it basically as a rooming house. So he had put up drywall to make a bunch of different bedrooms, and so we did a lot of demolition to get where we wanted. First, the porch. This was pretty much rotten, so we put down some basically permanent, forever material. I think it's called Plex. Why aren't the railings painted? Because they are salt-treated lumber, and they need to cure a little bit, so they will get painted. Front door we were going to replace. That's probably something that we'll do later on. We are going to do this as a rental. Okay, so we're coming into the house. Like I said, there's some lights that don't work. Here is the living room. That's just basically a ceiling fan. We covered up the fireplace since it's probably better not to have tenants making fires, but I think the chimney actually works. Now, this was all drywalled up to make individual bedrooms that the guy was renting out. And then this was a wall over here in between the living room and the kitchen. A lot of houses today are doing the open space concept, and we did that. We knocked out the wall. Heading over here to the dining room. Again, this was a bedroom, and we turned it back into a dining room. Here's the kitchen, which I think is pretty awesome. The market really shot up 3 or 4 months after I bought this house, and so we decided to go a little bit more high-end. Usually, I just get the cheapest kitchen cabinets that Lowe's sells, and they actually look pretty nice. We'll do polyurethane over them. But we went, again, a little bit more high-end, and we're getting a little bit more of a stable tenant than we might otherwise have. Again, we knocked out the wall. Here is an island with the range, kitchen cabinets. Lawrence, our carpenter, and Neville, my property manager, decided to go with butcher block, which I think looks really nice here. And, you know, the microwave, dishwasher, garbage disposal, all mod cons. Refrigerator has not gotten here yet, but we'll have a refrigerator for them. Now, this little room over here used to be a half bath, and normally I would love that because you want to have I like to have 3 beds, 1.5 baths in a typical rental property. But we actually converted this to a pantry that allowed us to buy fewer cabinets. And I think Lawrence is going to put up some utility shelves in here for the tenant. Again, this was sort of an extra, the back porch. When the market started to rise, I decided to invest a little bit more than I had originally planned. So we've got Plex, nice railings. I think it looks just fantastic. Turned out really well. And we built a privacy fence in the back. We've got a yard guy coming. It really, we still need to do some cleanup, as you can see. Okay, so back into the house, the kitchen. And here's why we converted that little room back to a pantry, and that's because they had built on an extra room to the house and had done a pretty good job. This house next door apparently Unfortunately, their addition is kind of falling off the house, but in my house, it was pretty solid, so we had to do some work with roofing and things like that, but we decided to convert it to a full downstairs bath. Over here is a washer-dryer hookup, so there is a little utility room that people will have on the first floor where they can do laundry, and then in here, we have a full bath. And I think it looks great. Just really pleased with the way that everything has turned out in the house. And the floors at my Burns Street renovation, the floors are even more beautiful than this, but I love these old houses with the beautiful hardwood floors. And I think this renovation has really brought it back to its original potential. Staircase. We used brownstone paint on the stairs. That saves us a little bit money. Refinishing stairs can be pretty expensive, and stairs are actually very easy to paint. So when the tenants leave, I'll just come in here with a gallon of paint and repaint those stairs. All right, we are in the upstairs, and start with this little room. We had a bit of a problem because we wanted to market the house as a 3-bedroom house, but this had no closet. And in Richmond, I don't know about the rest of the country, you have to have a closet. So when I bought the house, this chunk of the building was not here. And the railing went further out, but what we did was we just framed it and drywalled out. And now we have a little room with a closet. It is a small room, but a lot of young families with maybe a child that they want to put in a room. This is plenty big for a young child. Here is the master bedroom. Not a whole lot going on here, but again, replacement windows, new ceiling fan, new drywall. And the closet originally had a very small door, and when I first got it, I thought the closets were very small, but it turns out that it was just the doorway that was small. So we knocked out all the drywall, took out the doorway, and here you've got more space than you usually get in Highland Park. If you live in a newer development, it's not much space, but for Highland Park, that actually is pretty good closet space. And here is the back bedroom, and the same deal with the closet. We opened it up. Everything in this house is pretty much new. We had to replace a lot of the drywall. This ceiling was falling in, and well, I guess they repaired it because they kept the texture on it. I like to get rid of texture on the ceiling whenever I can, so they must have fixed that up, but in a lot of places we just replaced drywall. And here we had the original bathroom, and we turned it into a full bath, rearranged. I think the shower was actually, or the bathtub was over here, and we decided to just go with a stand-up shower. Remember, downstairs there is a bathtub and shower. And then finally, I have to do this in a lot of houses where we replace the HVAC system. That's going to be brand new, windows brand new, floors were finished, a lot of the drywall is new electrical system. So we put an attic in here for the air handler for the HVAC system. And there obviously was space up there, but we put in this attic door. So still little details that need to be worked out, but I'm pretty happy with the way that things turned out. And Highland Park is just really red hot right now. When I bought my first house here, I could tell that if it ever became a popular neighborhood, it would really do well because it's so close to the city. I am maybe 3 or 4 miles from downtown Richmond right now, and all of Highland Park funnels south so that you can just take the 4th Street Bridge. And over the past year, 2 years, young working families are really finding that out, and it's a great place to live. Really happy with how the renovation turned out.